Who am I? Okay. I was born to an American Indian, a Lumbee Indian from Pembroke, North Carolina, my mother, and my father was from uh, a town called Town Creek in northern Alabama, small town. He was a nerd. He got a scholarship, became a physician. My mother grew up in Pembroke, which was an Indian community, very violent, was estranged from her family, had her soul basically ripped out, and was a trophy wife. She needed someone to take care of her. She was in nursing school. He was in medical school. They met, they got married, they had me, and I was born in Alaska because he was sent to the military, sent him, he had to go in, doctors did at that time. And then we came back and lived in Birmingham, Alabama, moved to Opelika for him to start his practice, which is a little town in southeast Alabama, and lived there till I graduated high school. I was a wild kid. My mother she didn't pick me up after I learned to walk. My mother never touched me again. I mean, and my father was a complete ass and would just say things constantly to put me down. You know, my mother at first liked me, and then that made him jealous because she didn't really like him. She was a trophy wife, and then he would abuse me, and then she backed off even more, even the little bit she could, to protect me, basically. So I realized I was alone when I was 3 years old. I really did. And so I grew up in Opelika, drinking and drugging, and started working myself when I was 14. Even though we had money, my father would give me money. I started doing landscaping, and then I've worked in tube mill. I've worked driving trucks. I've worked loading trucks. I've worked driving forklifts. I've worked in a bank. I was a high school English teacher for 13 years and very good at it. That was a lot later. That was after 17 years of therapy. I've done just about every drug on the planet and enjoyed it except crack cocaine. And I've done cocaine a lot. God, I didn't really like, I never got hooked on it, but I could go out by myself with a gram of cocaine in Atlanta because I lived downtown Atlanta for a long time, get a cab and just go to bars and meet people. And so it was helpful in that way at a period where I was very alone because most of my life I was very alone because just so damaged inside from everything from the lack of love and concern as a small child. And so now, after all these years of therapy, I have a successful marriage. I'm still strange as hell, but these are the things that I have always been interested in, and these are the things that I have been working on. I got a degree in uh, language in English because I love literature. I thought it talked about humanity, and with a minor in philosophy. And I took a lot of religion courses because those are the things that interest me. Those were the things that I thought could help me put my world back together and hopefully put the world at large together so we wouldn't have these kinds of problems in the future.